Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, an update for you. In a last-minute judgment handed down on Sunday, as we reported, the Supreme Court of the Virgin Islands said that Kevin Rodriguez would not be able to take the oath of office alongside his colleagues, despite a Superior Court ruling last week that said he would be able to serve as a senator. Here's an update.
Hopeful 32nd incumbent Kevin Rodriguez, who as of Sunday was embroiled in a court battle over the legality of his election as a member of the 32nd legislature, addressed the media on Monday and said that he was not done with fighting to keep his position as an elected member of the 32nd legislature. According to a Supreme Court ruling that overturned the Superior Court ruling of Judge McKay, the Supreme Court of the Virgin Islands stated that using the rule of judicial estoppel, which precedes a party from taking a position in a case that is contrary to a position it has taken in earlier legal proceedings, addressing that Rodriguez filed bankruptcy in the state of Tennessee while claiming to be a resident of the Virgin Islands. Rodriguez's response is that he had to file bankruptcy as an attempt to save a home in Tennessee occupied by his estranged wife and children. Supreme Court ruling of the Virgin Islands prevented Kevin Rodriguez from swearing in on Monday with the rest of the 32nd legislature. It is truly a sad day in the Virgin Islands when a candidate that lost an election can dictate who can take the oath of office because she didn't win, says Rodriguez. Janelle Sarro is attempting to win a seat in the legislature through the courts because she lost in a ballot box. Rodriguez continues. Hopeful senator contends that the court's time has passed and now is looking to the 32nd legislature to act on the matter. In a letter sent to Senate President Myron Jackson, Rodriguez says the time for the courts has passed. It's now for the legislature, not the courts, to rule on whether I have met the qualifications to be seated as a member of the 32nd legislature. In the letter, Rodriguez states, I am a resident of the U.S. Virgin Islands. I've complied fully with the laws of the U.S. Virgin Islands regarding the eligibility to run for office as required by the Revised Organic Act of 1954 and was deemed qualified to run for office.
Count on 2 to keep you updated. Well, due to a power outage that affected the surrounding area of the Charles Howard Clinic, there was a blowout of the Department of Health's transfer switch, as we reported. As a result, the department had no electricity to the Charles Howard complex. On St. Croix, staff were dismissed at 10 a.m. on Monday morning, in which appointments were rescheduled as needed. Now, a note from WAPA, they said that the transfer switch in question belongs to the Charles Howard complex. The switch problem was not a WAPA issue. However, the system protected itself from any issues the switch had at the time. The authority was on standby to re-energize the switch once the issues had been resolved. And here's an update from the Department of Health.
The Department of Health has resumed normal operations at the Charles Howard complex on St. Croix, and strategies have been implemented to minimize future interruptions pertaining to the transfer switch that connects the Charles Howard complex to WAPA. In addition, as far as the air conditioning unit at the complex, the Department of Health is diligently working towards replacing the aging system, and we anticipate being able to do so within the next 3 months.
Well, as we reported yesterday, 14 members of the legislature was officially sworn in during the ceremony at Emancipation Garden. And then immediately following, there was an organizational meeting held. Senators voted to approve Bill number 32-0001, which organizes and establishes the majority caucus, officers, committees, and rules of the 32nd legislature. Senate President is Myron Jackson. Senator Narida Rivera O'Reilly was named Senate Vice President. Jean Ford was named Legislative Secretary, and Neville James was tapped as the Majority Leader. Ford was also elected as Secretary for the Intergovernmental and Territorial Affairs. Senator Marvin Blyden named Liaison to the U.S. Congress. Senator Brian Smith was chosen as Liaison to the U.S. Department of Interior Office of Insular Affairs, and Senator Samuel Sanders was named Liaison to the White House. Rules and Judiciary. We're looking at Senator Novell Francis Jr. for Finance, Senator Kurt Violet, Health, Hospitals, and Human Services, Senator Rivera O'Reilly, Education, Youth and Recreation, Senator Jean Ford, Housing, Public Works, Waste Management and Planning, Senator Marvin Blyden, Homeland Security, Justice and Public Safety, Senator Brian Smith, Economic Development and Agriculture, Senator Neville James, Government Affairs, Veterans, Energy and Environmental Protection, Senator Samuel Sanders. Here's more from the meeting.
The President outlined the work that has been done here at this facility. And I would just like to take a moment to explain that this building was built in 1867 and has all the various levels or layers of the many decades. And as we come here on a daily basis, we also endure the aging of this building and also the inadequacies that we have, our staff has to endure. We have no library, we have no cafeteria, we have no video conference room, and compared to the executive branch offices, many of the executive offices, the Virgin Islands legislature is grossly inadequate to serve the public in different aspects, but we do our very best.
Turning to crime reports on Saturday, January 7th at roughly early in the morning, officers traveled to the area of Lockhart Gardens. A victim stated that she left the Drug Farm Pharmacy, walked towards the parking lot when she felt a tug on her bag. As she clenched onto her bag, a struggle ensued between her and a suspect, and she was thrown onto the ground. He then burst the strap of her bag and fled the area, heading west towards 10th Street. The victim sustained multiple abrasions. Also on Saturday, January 7th, detectives responded to an attempted robbery in the area of the bus stop located on Veterans Drive in the vicinity of Cemetery Number 3. The victim stated that while at the bus stop waiting for a safari, she felt a pull on the right side of her backpack. She then turned around and faced 3 black young males with stockings covering their faces. They asked her to give them everything she has and tried to pull her behind the bus stop. She said she kicked one of the males, another struck her to the left side of her head with a gun, and the last fired a shot into the air. She then began screaming, causing the 3 males to take off running eastward in the cemetery towards the funeral home. Now, the Virgin Islands Police Department is urging the community to be very conscious of their surroundings and whereabouts, as there are individuals, they say, targeting innocent people in attempt of robbing them of their personal belongings. Therefore, they are sharing the following tips. They say the first and most important rule is to be fully aware of your surroundings. Then appear confident and look like you know where you're going. Dress down, they say. Don't flaunt jewelry or designer labels that lets a thief know you're likely to have money or valuables close at hand. Listen to your instincts. If something feels strange, then definitely seek help. Also, they say always keep purses closed and carry them close to the front of your body or hold them tightly against your arm. If your purse is slung over your head, consider wearing it under your coat. This makes it harder for a thief to yank on the strap. You can also protect yourself in advance, they say. In the event your purse or wallet is stolen, the impact will be less severe if you don't carry all of your cash. Be sure to call 911 right away. Carry only a small amount of cash. Don't keep your social security number in your wallet. It puts you at risk of identity theft. Carry only what's necessary and nothing more. Keep house keys in your pocket rather than your purse. If a thief steals your purse and house keys, they will have your address and access to your home. Now, if your purse or wallet is stolen, again, it doesn't matter how careful and cautious you are. At times, you can't stop a robber. The first thing, of course, they say is to remember that your purse or wallet is not worth getting hurt over or losing your life. If someone tries to take your belongings, resist the urge to fight back. While some thieves will back down at the sight of confrontation, others are willing to fight and maybe carrying a weapon. Again, don't panic. Call 911 right away. Make a list of everything in your purse or wallet, including credit cards, checks, ID cards, cash, and other items. Call your credit card companies and report your cards stolen. Call your bank and tell them your bank cards or checks have been stolen. If your driver's license was stolen, contact your local driver's license bureau to get a new one. If your social security card was stolen, also contact your local social security office to get a new one. The number won't be changed unless fraudulent activity is found. Monitor your bills, as always, for unusual activity and report. Well, investigators are still trying to figure out whether an 82nd airport shooting rampage allegedly carried out by a gunman more than 4,000 miles from home was driven by a terror motive or mental illness, authorities said, and it turns out he has ties to Puerto Rico. A day after 5 were killed at the Fort Lauderdale Hospital International Airport, agents had interviewed more than 100 people, including the suspected shooter, Esteban Santiago, 26, who'd surrendered by dropping onto the floor near a baggage area. Authorities and family members portray Santiago, a U.S. citizen with ties to New Jersey and Puerto Rico, as an Iraq veteran who struggled with mental illness. and who 2 months earlier had walked into an Alaska FBI field office and told agents his mind was being controlled, complaining that the government was forcing him to watch Islamic State videos. Family members had said Esteban Santiago changed after serving a year-long tour in Iraq. He was born in New Jersey but moved to Puerto Rico when he was 2. His brother said he grew up in Peneguas before joining the Guard in 2007. He deployed in 2010 as part of the Puerto Rico National Guard, spending a year with an engineering battalion, according to the Guard spokesman, Major Paul Dalen. Well, the first member of the U.S. Senate to endorse Donald Trump's presidential bid became the first of his cabinet nominees to face a confirmation hearing Tuesday. Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama, Trump's pick for Attorney General, appeared before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Karen Kaifa reports from Washington.
I am ready for this job.
Tapped by Donald Trump to be the next U.S. Attorney General, the confirmation hearing of Senator Jeff Sessions was punctuated by protesters objecting to his views on immigration and women's rights, and also on civil rights, a topic Sessions addressed head-on in his opening statement.
I abhor the Klan and what it represents.
In 1986, Sessions faced the same panel as a nominee for a federal judgeship and faced accusations of racist remarks and questions about his prosecutorial record. Sessions said Tuesday those accusations were part of an organized effort to sink his bid, an effort that succeeded.
I hope my tenure in this body has shown you that the caricature that was created of me was not accurate. It wasn't accurate then, and it's not accurate now.
Sessions also told the panel he would respect and follow the Supreme Court's rulings on abortion and same-sex marriage, even though he does not agree with them. His hearing continues Wednesday, and in an unprecedented move, Democratic Senator Cory Booker will testify against his colleague.
Given the state of a lot of challenges we have around policing, a lot of challenges we have around race relations, gay and lesbian issues, it's a very consequential moment.
Despite the fireworks, the Republican majority makes it highly unlikely Democrats can block Sessions' nomination or others. Retired General John Kelly, Trump's choice to head the Department of Homeland Security, also appeared before a panel Tuesday. Wednesday's agenda includes former ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson for Secretary of State. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Well, keeping our eye on the economy, it's a gift from the outgoing Obama administration to would-be homeowners. The annual mortgage insurance premiums borrowers pay is going down. This applies to home loans taken out and insured by the government. The quarter percentage point cut by the Federal Housing Administration amounts to an average annual savings of $500 for homeowners. The benefit is even bigger if a larger loan is taken out. HUD's secretary says there are sufficient reserves to meet future claims, so it's passing on some savings to families. The FHA backs loans to protect lenders if a borrower defaults. The catch is that insurance premiums are required. Officials hope lower premiums push first-time home buyers to jump into the market. Let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. The Dow down 31, NASDAQ up 20. Coming up on News 2, we return with our Caribbean Roundup, our news segment right here on News 2, and we're going to be turning our attention to St. Kitts. That's coming up next. Welcome back. Well, we kick off our Caribbean Roundup, our news segment right here on News 2, and tonight we turn our attention to NEWS for the latest. Here's more.
The Eastern Caribbean Group of Companies, ECGC, partnered with the Department of Agriculture over the holidays to give back to pig farmers on the island. On December 29, 2016, the Department of Agriculture distributed packages of sow ration and pig grower to livestock farmers who have been using the feed over the past year.
This venture has been some hard work that's been going on between the Ministry of Agriculture along with ECGC in St. Vincent. And this morning we welcome all our pig farmers here on NEWS to join in with this venture. Over the year, we would have had basically all these farmers actually investing in feed within their pig production. And this morning, we just think it best that It's time to give back, knowing that it's a season for giving and sharing, and we want to take this opportunity to give back to the farmers here on Nevis. It's basically to give back to farmers who have been utilizing the feed, and with the hope that these farmers spread the message to other farmers to continue to use this feed to ensure that our quality of pork here on the island is improved.
Dr. Ambrose James of the Department's Veterinary Services noted that ECGC provides the feed for growers, finishers, and breeders, the type of pig production systems which farmers engage in on Nevis.
Okay, thanks for that report. Well, did you get your tickets to see the 13-year-old jazz sensation who hardly clears the piano's sightlines, Joey Alexander? It's on January 14th, this weekend, 8 p.m. Opening performance include performance-based initiative VI Youth Ensembles, directed by Dion Parsons of United Jazz, and even a special workshop for students coming up. Here's more.
So we're very excited about the show this weekend because it gives us an opportunity to have a young individual perform at Ryco Center who is one of the masters in their craft. He's a jazz virtuoso, was never formally trained in how to play the piano, but he picked it up at a young age and ever since has been pushing forward with it. Tickets are on sale right now at the Ryco box office. I'm encouraging everyone to come out and see this show. We have student tickets that are $20 for students. We also have an arts and education residency workshop on Friday at 9:30 a.m. where students will be able to engage with Joey Alexander directly, ask him questions, you know, what was his inspiration, who's his favorite artist, those type of things. And you also get to interact, students would also get to interact with Mr. Dion Parsons and some of the students from the Youth VI Jazz Ensemble. So we look forward to this performance. We encourage everyone to come out.
Don't miss it. J&R Media Solutions is proud to announce the premiere of its new reality series, Taste of the Caribbean Team USVI. Now that's premiering on January 14th at 8 p.m. right here on TV2. And what it is he followed 9 super talented chefs who represented the U.S. Virgin Islands, Natafa Romaine. He followed them around at the Taste of the Caribbean Culinary Arts Competition, capturing the challenging event and their journey to culinary gold. Here's more.
So myself and Stephen Gabriel, you know, we spent 5 days with the team shooting every single event, which pretty much started every day around 8 o'clock, ended around 10 p.m. at night. There was a pastry chef competitions, which was 3 different competitions: the Chef of the Year competition, the seafood competition, the beef competition. Bartender Frank Robinson, I think he had 4 different competitions. He had the non-alcoholic, he had the vodka, he had the rum, and also the Bartender of the Year competition. So 13 Caribbean nations, you know, in there, Miami, you know, Puerto Rico, Curacao, Bahamas, Jamaica, USVI, and, you know, obviously other countries. But they were all just kind of there going toe to toe, you know, all week long, making some incredible dishes, incredible drinks, and, you know, the drama that comes along with being in the kitchen, you know, we're there to capture.
And we will have more on the Taste of the Caribbean later on in the week. Also, the St. Thomas St. John Interscholastic Athletic Association, together with the USVI Department of Education and McDonald's, they held a media launch for the 2017 IAA McDonald's Martin Luther King Jr. Invitational Basketball Tournament. Here's more about what we can expect from the anticipated event.
At Arcos Dorados and McDonald's Virgin Islands, we're very proud to sponsor for 3rd consecutive year the 2017 Martin Luther King Jr. Varsity Invitational Basketball Tournament. Once again, we're partnering with the USVI Department of Education and the Interscholastic Athletic Association in partnership for the MLK Tournament. We're very proud to sponsor student athletes to promote balanced active lifestyles and to give back to the communities with this tournament.
The partnership between the Department of Education and McDonald's with the Martin Luther King Basketball Tournament is a really wonderful opportunity for our students. It's an annual opportunity. It's been happening for several years in the territory. At the same time, it's also building on character development. It's building on family ties and ties with the community as well. So we think it's a terrific chance for students to build on many of the traits that we value in the Department of Education.
Also tune in. We'll have more later on in the week on the tournament. Well, new year, new you. You've probably already heard about the benefits of the Mediterranean diet, a style of eating that focuses on vegetables, grains, and olive oil. Now, new research out of Scotland is adding to the list of benefits that the diet can provide. Kim Hutchison has more in the Health Minute.
Research is uncovering new benefits that may come along with a Mediterranean diet. Scientists at the University of Edinburgh say this style of eating is linked to the preservation of brain health in older people. The Mediterranean diet includes lots of plant-based foods, fruits, vegetables, grains, beans, and olive oil, and moderate amounts of seafood and wine. It relies on herbs for flavor instead of salt. Poultry and dairy are eaten sparingly, and red meat and sweets are avoided. Researchers found that people who ate this way retained more brain volume as they got older compared to those who didn't. The study's leader says it adds to the growing body of research showing the protective effects of the Mediterranean diet against normal cognitive decline, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease. But the authors say more research is needed to confirm the link. This style of eating is also good for your heart and reduces bad cholesterol. The Mediterranean diet is associated with a reduced incidence of cancer, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's diseases, and a reduced risk of breast cancer. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutchison.
That was your Health Minute. Well, a strong surface high pressure is being reported, so winds and seas will remain hazardous throughout the rest of the week. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
As we take a look at our current satellite, we can see a pretty defined cold front off in towards the Atlantic. In the tail end of that, though, it's beginning to fall apart right over parts of Hispaniola, and that is moving slowly off towards the southeast. So we take a closer look. A lot of those showers held over towards Puerto Rico for right now, but we are going to continue to see that front slowly slide over towards the Virgin Islands. Now, with this front passing, not a ton of moisture in store for us, but we will be seeing those chances of showers continue. So they're going to move on through tonight and then into tomorrow as well. We'll also get some sunshine in there. 82 degrees for St. John's. This is also going to go out towards St. Thomas as well. And St. Croix, going to be seeing some of those showers later on as we head towards out the latter half of the day. Into our forecast out on the waters, with the passing of this front, we do have some winds that have tossed up our waves quite a bit, 10 to 14 feet. We do have a small craft advisory in effect. This is lasting till Thursday morning, but we are looking at those waves to be over 7 feet through Friday. So we are looking at that extending as we head into the latter half of our work week. Winds out in the northeast, 10 to 15 knots on the Atlantic. Then we hop on over into the Caribbean. We're looking at that same small craft advisory as well as that high surf advisory in effect. Here are our waves slightly calmer. We're at 6 to 10 feet. And winds out the northeast 15 to 20. So winds a little bit stronger, waves a little bit less. Here's a look at your extended outlook. That front's going to bring us some showers as we head towards our Wednesday, and then after that, we are back in that easterly trade wind flow pattern with a shower in spots as we do have those clusters of clouds throughout the area of Passover with those easterlies. Overall, our temperatures for our highs going to be in the low 80s, and we also stick with our lows into the low 70s. Back to you, Sandy.
Thanks for that. Time for our News 2 weather picture there by Kilana Pelage of Ricardo Richards Elementary School. And we can almost feel the rays of the sunshine there, Kilana. Beautiful overall weather. Thank you for your picture. Great choice of colors. Send us your News 2 weather picture to be featured to the address right there on the screen. Be sure to include all the information we need: name, age, school, brief description of your work of art, then tune in to see it right here on News 2. That is all for now. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.